Hi, my name is Heather, and today I'm going to show you how to create pictures for your children's book using Canva. First, I just want to give a small disclaimer. I don't want anyone to take this video the wrong way. I don't in any way believe that using stock illustrations should replace illustrators, but in some cases, it might be the best option. If an author has an idea for a children's book but can't afford to pay an illustrator, then Canva illustrations are a great alternative, and it might be their only option. And then maybe once their book takes off and they're starting to make money off their books, then they can start hiring illustrators. Also, stock illustrations are made by illustrators, so you are still supporting artists by using stock illustrations. You're just not having custom illustrations made for you. Also, in case you're wondering about the licensing of the images, all of the images that Canva provides to you have a license to use them in a design for something you're going to sell. So if you're using them to design your children's book, you're totally okay. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the project. This is a book that I laid out for a client completely using Canva illustrations. You can see the front here with the little girl in her bed, and she has her little stuffed animal under her arm. The back has her stuffed animal there, and the dream catcher. The book is all about scary dreams and how to avoid having scary dreams. I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took to create this book. I started out with just the script for the book, so all I had was a huge thing of text here. I started out just kind of going through and figuring out like what would be on a single page. So I just went in and made some line breaks and figured out where things would be broken up. So this is like the second tool, and then this is the third tool, so I knew those would be on separate pages. After doing all that, then we can go in Canva and create our document so we can drop the text in. In Canva, I have a video on how to calculate your page size. So I won't go through all of that in this video, but I will link it up in the cards. Here's my Canva document, and to start, I'm just going to go in and drop my text in. I'll leave the first 3 pages blank. Those will probably end up being title page and dedication. So I'm going to start on page 4 and just paste it in, and I'll just do that for every page. Now I have all that done, and if I go to grid view by clicking down here, I can see all my pages with all my text. However, when you're doing a children's book, you don't really want to have text on every page. I mean, you might want to for your book, but for this one, especially since there's some really big parts of text, I knew that I would need an illustration on one page and text on the other page. So I'll just go through here and add a page wherever I think that I would want an illustration next to it. And one thing to keep in mind is that you'll always have even pages on the left and odd pages go on the right. So page 1 is always going to be by itself, and then page 2 will be on the left side and page 3 will be on the right side. So 2 and 3 make a spread, 4 and 5 make a spread. Right now 6 and 7 would make a spread, but if I add a page here, then it's 6 plus some illustration. So I'll just go ahead and add those in. I could always change it later if I want to. And now I'll get back out of grid view. The next thing is that I did want to kind of nail down what the character was going to look like. So after reading the story, and then you also want to like talk to your client and make sure you know if the kid's supposed to have blonde hair or brown hair or what, or if it's your own book, then you already know. And just go in elements and you can just search for like little girl, which is what I did. And I went through here and I found a little girl that I liked. But the other thing is that you want to be able to have that girl in other positions and stuff, so she's not just like standing the same way in every picture. So you will have to kind of dig around a bit. So like if I find this one here with that color hair and that outfit, then if I go to the magic recommendations and I click see all, then these are all the rest of them. And so you can kind of look through it and see if you find the same girl again. The other thing is up here it says the artist name. So if you click on that, then this is all of that artist's work. So if I were to go in the artist's work, this Stella Loon art, and then search for little girl, then I might have better luck finding that same girl again. So I could look through here and I don't see that same girl again. So now I'm just going to get rid of that and try to find another one. And then see right here, we're going to click see all. And we could go through here, and then you might even find one that you like better in here. Some of the artists really have like a ton of different people, which is really nice, especially if you need like a whole family. See, like this one's really nice because this has all these different positions. So this person might have some really good stuff, this artist. So we can go through here and see if we can find more of that same girl, or maybe another girl that is in here a lot. Oh, and here we go. So we do have a bunch here that could be the same girl. Even though the outfit is a little different, you can try to finagle that if you just kind of like crop the head. And like if this arm wasn't here, then you could maybe like stick this head on that body. And then the other thing is that you can also modify the faces a little bit too. So the more important thing is probably the body being in other positions, because for the face, you can always grab an element over here and grab like a circle. And well, this really only works if you have like flat colored images. So like the ones that are kind of more watercolory, those aren't really going to work. But like this one's really flat, so I could take this shape and click on the color up here, and then I'll click add a new color, and I can just grab her skin color, and I could go like this, and then I could just add a new face on her if I wanted to. So you can even go into elements and search for like smile, and you could just give her a smile. So it really is kind of endless what you can do with this. Once I have my character kind of nailed down, then I would just go in here and grab everything that is going to be a variation of that character. So at this point, since there's so many of her in these overalls, I would just get rid of the one in the little school uniform, because you could probably just do the whole book with these overalls. Now that I have all of these here, I would just do the same thing with the parents too, to try to find pictures of the parents. And if you can look in the same artist stuff, then that's a good idea. Either way, when you do look for more images, so like say I wanted to find the mom, you do need to make sure that the style of illustration is the same. So for example, I would not use this one because as you can see, there's like dark outlines here, like black outlines, and there aren't black outlines on the little girl one. Those two illustration styles do not match at all. Also, these colors are like less saturated and a bit darker, whereas the girls' colors are kind of lighter and brighter. Another example is this has a lot of texture to it, like it was done with a paintbrush or something very brush strokey. So that doesn't go with the girl's illustration at all because hers is more flat. And if you are going to have to be doing a lot of modifying to it, like changing the face and doing stuff like that, then it is going to be easier if you have the more flat images. And here's another one, like this one's too realistic compared to the other one that's like cartoony. So just make sure that you really pay attention to the art style and try to match that up. So the next thing that I would do is start kind of building my scenes. So the one that I was kind of excited right away was doing her bedroom, because this one says that she had trouble falling asleep at night. So I was going to have her in the bed and like really scared. First of all, I'm left aligning the text, because anytime you have a big block of text, it's always going to be better to have it left aligned because it's easier to read. And then the cool thing is that there is a lot of extra space down here. So I could make this be a full spread and actually have part of the image on this side if I end up wanting to, or maybe I just want to have the image here. But either way, we know that this is going to be a bedroom with her on a bed because it says she had trouble falling asleep at night. So we'll go on this page and we'll start making her bedroom. So that's kind of fun. You can start by just searching for bedroom. There are some that are already made, but I found that it was harder to use those because, see, like there's going to be elements you don't want, or you may want to move the window over a bit. Maybe you'll want text here. I find it a lot easier to use the individual elements instead. So like you could grab this to be a room, but then you shouldn't really use this when you look at it because remember, she's all flat colors. So let's copy this and bring it down here. And if we look at these two styles, they don't mix at all because this has dark outlines and she doesn't. So I'm going to get rid of that. And instead, we could just try doing the floor and a wall color. So if I go like this, floor, and make sure you're in graphics, not photos, by the way. I can just find some kind of floor, like maybe this one. That could probably work. It does have a little bit of these like textured lines, but I don't think it's too much that it's a huge deal. For the wall, we can do a color. So we would just click on the background and then click this to do the background color and click here. And then I do think it probably looks a little bit better doing a gradient, but you don't want to have anything extreme like white and gray. You want it to be a color and then like a lighter or darker version of that color. So say for example, we want her to have a pink bedroom. We could pick that for pink. And then for the other gradient color, we can grab that same pink and then just make it like a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. So it's very subtle. And then you can change the direction of the gradient too. So that will be her pink wall. I would add like just the baseboards that go along the bottom, which all you really need for that is like a white rectangle. So I would just get out of that search and click on the square shape. And then I would make it white like a baseboard. I will bring it down here and I'll just do that. And then we would just want to add her bed. This one's not going to work because it's at an angle. So I would probably grab like this one, looks fairly simple, but it has that weird texture, so I don't think that's a good idea. This one's probably a little too simple. This looks like a pretty nice one. And I'll flip it and I'll put it like that, and then we can have her like standing in front of it crying. The other thing that we could do is add just a dresser over here and like a window. I think that would complete the room. So I'll search for dresser. We just want to find one that kind of matches that same art style. And this one's nice because we can actually change the colors of it. So I'll just go up here and I think I want her to have a white dresser. Oh, and since she's going to bed, we could use a window that's like at nighttime. Maybe this one, but it does have these dark outlines and I just feel like it kind of is too dark that it doesn't really go. This is a nice one. In fact, I think it might be the same one I used in the book that I did. We can have some of the text here if we wanted. So actually, if we want to have this on one page, we could. And so then I could just take this, I'll just cut it with Command X or Control X on Windows and then paste. And we could probably put this right here. And you do want to watch your margins. So again, you can watch that video for how to create your guides for your safe zone and bleed and all that. The next step is that you can pick a font. So I'm going to go up here and see if I have some kind of like handwriting font would be fun. And I could just go through here and try to find a font that I think would look good for the children's book. And this part is so important because it's just going to make your book look more professional and look like you actually spent a lot of time working on it if you have a nice font picked out. When I see a font that it's the same font that I've seen a million times, like Arial, it's just annoying. So please use a custom font. I like this one, so then I'm just going to go down here and do change all. And so they'll all change to that font. But I did change the size of the text on this one. So I do like to try to keep it consistent. So I'd probably, first of all, just make this a normal number like 22. And then when I'm designing this one, I'll just change it to 22 as well. So here is my first page right here that I designed. And basically I would just go through and repeat the process for everything else. And don't feel like every page has to have like the same kind of scene on it or something like that. So the book that I designed, actually a lot of the pages didn't even have her in it or the bedroom or anything like that. So like if I go through this book, this page right here talks about a dream catcher. So it says the first was the dream catcher, which Lily's mom did when she was Lily's age. So all it's talking about is like what a dream catcher is, that it captures all the scary dreams and only lets the good ones come through. So basically what I did was I just did like some kind of cool background here, which sometimes I'm not sure what to do for the background. So it really helps if I just do background like this. For something like this, where all I'm putting is like a dream catcher, it doesn't need to be an actual background of like a scene or something. Like you could just do something that looks really pretty, like this rainbowy thing, or sometimes that might be a little too busy and you can kind of find more of like a monochromatic background. Like this one's all purple. And this one actually would be really pretty for a dream catcher. So I would maybe go like this and put the dream catcher like on the right. So then I would just search in here for dream catcher. And we have all these dream catchers. So you could just find one. And remember, you still want to follow that same rule where it has to be the same style. This is pretty good, but it doesn't stand out against the purple. However, I can change the colors up here, so that's perfect. So I'll just do that. Now I'm going to show you how I would do a spread. If I go down to this one, it's talking about a tool from her grandmother, and it's a spray made of sage, lavender, and fairy dust. So I'm going to do this one as a spread so I can show you how to make the background go across both pages. So remember, the even page is going to be on the left and the odd page on the right. So since I had deleted one of those other pages, I think, we had this one on the right. So I'm going to put it here. So it's on page 14. So the text is on the left. And then page 15 is going to be on the right. So the one thing that kind of sucks about Canva is that you can't design them when they're right next to each other. I really hope that they add that feature sometime. But for right now, you can only design it up and down, and then you would just have to like preview it in the grid view. So I'm going to find a background first, and this is the key, is that you want a background that is like very long horizontally so that it can spread across both pages. You can also type in background horizontal and you will get some results that are horizontal backgrounds like this. This one's really pretty. Okay, so I can use this one and I'm going to make it as big as the page. So now it's as big as the page and I have it all the way on the left of the page. I'm going to hide this. And now the important thing is that I want it to actually be twice the width of the page. And you can tell it's not because this little handle right here, which is right down the middle of the image, is not at the edge. For this to be twice the width of the page, it needs to be right in the middle. So it's still right here, so I'll make it bigger. And now it's over this way. The next thing I'm going to do, let me zoom out a little bit, is I want to break this image up into two. So I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to click this little duplicate button and put this one in the exact same spot. So you want them to be aligned with each other. So I have this one here and I have this one here. Now I'm going to grab the one that's on top and I'm just going to crop it right to this edge. So now the first image we had ends right here on this edge, right? But then the second image we have, we took out the left side. So it's only the right side. So if we bring it down here, and you have to align the bottom how that bottom's aligned. So they're both aligned to the bottom and aligned to the bottom. Now If I look at it in grid view, now you can see that it actually continues. So the gradient continues from one to the next. I hope that made sense. You could always rewind and watch it again if it seemed confusing. And if you really have trouble, just email me at heather@heathercash.com and I'll help you out. So now that we have that, then we would just add any of our elements to these that we want to. When you're all done with your book and you're ready to export, then you're just going to go up to Share, Download, and you're going to select PDF Print. Make sure you check Flatten PDF. You're going to want all pages in here. And for the color profile, if you have Canva Pro, then pick CMYK. But if not, RGB is probably fine. And then click Download. And that PDF will be ready to bring into KDP. That's it for this lesson. If you have any questions or suggestions for follow-up videos, let me know in the comments. You can also email me at heather@heathercash.com. And if you're interested in seeing the book that I designed using Canva, I'll share the link to that book in the description, but it's called My Light Shines Bright All Through the Night. And then there's also another version called How to Catch a Dream that is the boy version of the book. My client also just asked me to share her social media for the book. So she has an Instagram account called how.tocatchadream. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.